I know what you're thinking. I really want access to that developer build for Dead by Daylight. You do? Well, shit. I'm gonna give it to you. It's very simple to do. I mentioned to quite a few people in the comment section on YouTube how to acquire the developer build, but it's kind of getting really hard to keep up with the same comments, so I'm actually just going to do a video for you guys. So in case this ever happens again, well, you'll know how to gain access to the developer build even though it goes offline. I think this is always going to be a permanent thing because I don't know how they would be able to just take down the developer build permanently because it's kind of in the Steam database, but let's go ahead and get right into this video, guys. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to add a command to basically allow Steam to use the console, the Steam console that is. Then we're going to use the Steam database. Steam database is where we're basically going to get the file from, or the code for the file, so Steam downloads it for us. And then we're going to talk about uModel. I've already mentioned how to use uModel in previous videos, but I will show you a quick rundown of how it works very quickly. And then yeah, and then that's where you guys will be able to do your own pilfering and be able to find your own leaks and what have you. And, well, you'll be able to use this for future reference as well. So, let's get right into this. Okay, and this is the Steam database. I talked about this in my Ghostface leak video. So, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you have to own the game to be able to download old versions of the game. So, the reason how I know this is because I tried to download a alpha build of Dead by Daylight, but considering I was not around for the alpha when this game came out, I started playing this game literally probably within a few weeks after it was officially released. So it kind of sucks because, oh, that's interesting. All the pictures disappeared. Anyways, it kind of sucks because I wanted to see some of the content that was basically yoinked from the game or yeeted, whatever you want to call it. But considering I don't own the game, I'm unable to download it. So Steam will just not allow you to download it, period. So the game that we want to focus on, that you guys care about, is probably going to be Dead by Daylight. So Dead by Daylight. Oh, here we are. Alright, so here's Dead by Daylight. Here's everything in the database. We have the actual game itself here. Then we have the Halloween chapter, the Plague chapter, and so on and so forth. And it even has some cosmetic DLCs in here as well. So it's basically just the game and the DLCs. So this is your app ID right here. This is what you want to write down. So it's 381210. So we're going to go into that app ID. And then to your far left here, you have what's called deposits. So we're going to click on deposits. And we go over to Dead by Daylight content here. All right, let me see if we hit information. I don't remember what one it was initially on, but just you want to be under the deposits here. And then this is your deposit ID right here, 381211. So you want to copy this number down. We're going to click into that. Then we're going to go under manifests. And this is the developer build right here, or the developer build ID. So the manifests, these are basically all of the previous game updates. It goes back from all the way from when the game was initially released back in June 14th, 2016. So if you want a 1.0.0 copy of Dead by Daylight, you would copy this manifest ID. But you guys don't care about that shit. You want the developer one. We all know we want that juicy developer build, right? So we're going to go ahead and go back to where we started with the... Oh, I am fucking up. I am so sorry for fucking up. Oh man, I just can't today. I don't know what the fuck's going on. There we go. So, now, what we're going to do is on your Steam shortcut here. So, if you have your Steam shortcut on the desktop, what you're going to do is you're going to right click. I guess I can probably just do this. So you're going to right click on its properties, on the shortcut properties. You're going to type in -dev. You want to make sure this is spaced, by the way. So don't have -dev next to the quotation. You want to space it out, -dev space -console. Then you're going to hit apply, you're going to hit OK, and then restart Steam. And then you're going to have this console at the top. And yes, you can see my Steam profile name, and yes, I do have a VAC ban. So if you guys are going to troll me about my VAC ban, it's because I didn't give any shits about using a trainer on the original Left 4 Dead because the game was already old as shit, and it was only like $2 on Kinguin. So, So I had some fun with multiplayer using a trainer just for shits and giggles. But I do not promote cheating in general. I don't cheat on the games that which I love, which is like Dead by Daylight and stuff. So now that that's taken out of the way, so yeah, we have download, depot, app ID, deposit ID, and manifest ID at the bottom here. So this is the code that you're going to want to use, and what we're going to do is we're going to be plugging in each individual number here. So we're going to plug in the app ID. So here's our app ID right here, so 381210. There we go. And then we go into it, and then we go under deposits, and here's the deposit ID. I'm going to control copy that. We're going to paste over it, paste it there, and then we're going to want the manifest ID. So the game version in which we want to download is going to be the developer build, which is 4046032 blah 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 blah. And we just paste over that. And there we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit enter. Download depot 381210 blah blah blah. And there you go. And then it starts downloading the developer build. Now, depending on your internet, this is going to take some time. Where this actually downloads to is your Steam folder here. So if we go into my Steam folder, Steam apps, where the hell are you? There you are. And then it downloads it to your content folder in your Steam apps here. So this is the app, and then basically this is where Dead by Daylight, the developer build, is going to start downloading. And I have proof of that because here's Dead by Daylight Omen dev 379 changes.txt blah blah blah. It took me about, I actually have really good internet, but for whatever reason when you download old game versions, they seem to download slower than the average Steam download when they actually download the updates. So, and there you go, you see a live update of it actually downloading. So it took me about 3-4 hours to be able to download the entirety of this build. It may even take less for you. It all depends, I guess. It might also be because this is an unzipped version of the game, because I've noticed that when I ported over everything, the files aren't in pack chunks. If you've ever been into Dead by Daylight, I didn't create the folder yet, but there's a content folder in here, and if you go into that content folder, or, you know, we can actually just, it's irrelevant, doesn't matter. They use pack chunks, and I think it allows for file compressing, and so it allows for the game to download quicker that way, and I think that's probably why. But, so, once the game is actually officially downloaded, you've waited long enough, your console will tell you the game is completed. It'll just stay like this forever. You just let it run its course. It'll eventually tell you everything's been downloaded, and you could basically go through the files at that point. I have already done that, so if we go into, see if I can find my VR chat folder. I always forget where I put it. Work in progress. Oh, there it is. So here I have the developer build here. So I have the regular 2.7.0 build that got released Tuesday, and then I have the developer one. So this is the developer one. So pretty much what it's going to look like when it's done downloading is what you see here. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about a program called uModel, which is basically where you can actually start pilfering around in the files and start looking at the models and just having a kind of like a little rough estimate of what you to expect in the game. So obviously Gildor is the one who made this, so credit goes for him. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the ability, well, not the easiest ability to be able to download and view models, so credit goes to Gildor here. So you would download Windows 32 version, and it looks like it's been updated today too. Yeah, he's constantly updating uModel, so always check back if you want some new features or things like that for uModel or compatibility. Sometimes he works on games separately. Like I know, like Outlast 2, for example, he can't work on because it uses a modified version of Unreal Engine. If the game uses a modified version of the Unreal Engine, Gildor actually has to make a workaround for uModel to actually work properly, so a little bit of detail there. But once you've downloaded uModel, you'll get these two files, and you basically put them into your developer build folder here. It's the sdl2.dll and then the uModel.exe. So let's go ahead and open up uModel, and I will quickly show you how to use it. So the game version, it's obviously using Unreal Engine 4. You don't have to mess with anything else other than this one. So the Unreal Engine version that the game is currently using right now is Unreal Engine 4.2.1. It used to, for a long time, used 4.13, but ever since the new lighting changes and all of the new environmental changes and things like that to the game, mainly just for shadowing and lighting, it now starts using 4.21. So in the future, Dead by Daylight may also not even mention it, but if you realize uModel will not open up on a new, say 3.0.0 got released tomorrow, and for whatever reason 4.21 isn't working and uModel keeps crashing. Well, that's probably because they've updated the engine to probably 4.22 or 4.23, so just try any of the upper ones if that happens. So we're going to use 4.21 because that's the engine that it's using. Hit OK. And because there's a lot of files to pilfer through, this does take a little while to load up, so give it some time here. Also depends on how fast your computer is. Mine's decent. It's not the most fastest in the world, but it plays games on ultra. I'm happy with it. How's about we sing a song? It's the song of my people. What about that Sonic trailer, guys? I guess you're gonna fix that, huh? Yeah, gonna fix that trailer. That Sonic was garbage. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Alright, here we go. So the engine, this is just basically common Unreal Engine 4 type shit. You don't have to worry about this folder. Bye-bye. The one that we want to focus on is the content folder. And this is basically all the assets that are in the game. So you have characters, the types of maps, though we can't really load any maps, which kind of sucks. I really wish there was a way that we can actually look at the maps, but we really can't. The effects, a lot of this is like particle systems and things like that, but uModel doesn't really support particle effects. Really wish it did, so I can port over maybe like the Plague's Bile or the Doctor's Shock effects, things like that, but we may never have that. So you can look at movies, meshes. So in the meshes folder, that's where that charms folder was that I told you guys about, and the props where that phone was for Ghostface. So this is all the props that we have for the video game, and then this is all the environmental props that we have for each map. So each map has its own specific environment, obviously. So grass patch. So yeah, if you just double click it, it'll show you a model of what it looks like. I'll even show you Ghostface, for example. So Ghostface would be located in characters, slashers. The code name for Ghostface is Omen. The code name for the Plague was Molly. The code name for Legion was Kenya, and so on and so forth. For whatever reason, they started using code names ever since the Pig came out, which is kind of weird, because Pig is Finland. But so here we go. Here's the animation sequences that I've been using to show you guys the different types of locomotion that he had, like the crouch stocks, all that. A lot of this is either left, right, front, back type animations. That's why I only did the front ones, because I think those are the most important. Obstacles, so this is his animation for closing the hatch, and so on and so forth. His Mori is also in here, but I think that's under attack. Might be interaction. Oh yeah, there it is. So here's his Mori right there. So if you want to look at the actual model itself, it'll be under models, pretty self-explanatory, bodies, and if you ever wanted to see what Ghostface looks like without a mask, well, there you go. He's maskless, or faceless, I should say. He's just a dummy. So, a little funny little thing there. But yeah, if you want to actually export the models, you basically just go to Tools, Export Current Object, and it basically exports the texture and it also exports the normal map for the model, but it does not export like the occlusion or or any, well, I think it does export, unless it's hair. Hair is kind of tricky. Sometimes it doesn't export the hair map, but it does export, for the most part, the map for clothing. So like, this is actually supposed to be shredded at the bottom. So the cloth map will allow you to basically make that look like it's shredded, and it does port that over as well. So if you're looking for the actual ambient occlusion type maps, they'll be under textures, outfit 01, just depending on what outfit you're selecting it from. And it's under ORM. ORM is the occlusion, and the material sheen, like to get blood to look kind of shiny and things like that. You would want to look at the ORM files. So that one would be for the bottom, hands, and there's that hood map that I was talking to you about to make it look like the cloth is shredded. Kind of curious what horn is. Oh, that's for that the devil cosmetic. So yeah, guys, so that's how you basically use uModel. So again, if you're just trying to export something, all you have to do is just, you know, double click whatever it is you're trying to export. You just go to Tools, Export Current Object, and then it creates a folder in here called uModel Export, and you just double click into those folders, and it's basically the same folders for the most part, other than that it exports it, or sorry, it converts it from being a uAsset file to the actual texture file itself, whatever it is that you're trying to look at. So yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. You can basically do this for any upcoming versions. Hopefully you guys found that pretty enjoyable, so now you guys can go ahead and do your own pilfering. Oh, you know what? Before I go, actually, so you guys are probably like, yo, but I want to see you actually show proof that this works in the game. Alright, well, if you actually want to go into the actual developer build itself, you can. I figured out a way how to do it. I'm going to tell you right now, take this with your own risk. I had to keep Steam open to be able to get this to run. I'm not banned. I've been on Dead by Daylight after opening the developer build, and I'm not banned. So again, do this with your own warning, okay? Like, I'm taking a risk by just going into the developer folder myself, but I'm not banned. I'm fine. If we go into the Steam here, you'll have the Dead by Daylight no Steam bat, and you basically just double click this bat file, and it will basically run the game without using Steam, and therefore you'll be able to get into the developer build. So we're going to see that right here, right now. After it loads. There's not a whole lot to say about the developer build. It's got the same leaks that we've already seen, so you can't really play any games because it's offline. So just letting you guys know that right now. And I think I have a failing hard drive, so that's a lot of the reason why it's kind of slow at loading things. It's not a solid state, it's just a regular hard drive. So I don't care about splash screens. So you'll see some interesting stuff. And I think the leaker that accidentally took out this developer build and put it live was Jenkins, because you'll see some mention about Jenkins. Ooh. A little loud. Okay, so we're going to put a space, connecting the servers. There are no servers. And I feel like this developer build takes a lot longer to load than regular Dead by Daylight, so optimizations, my boys. Alright, and here we are. We are in the developer build. So if you guys wanted to see Ghostface again, there you go. Here's Ghostface. Just his idle animation. So these little like strip things actually kind of move very slowly, kind of like a ghost, hence the name. If you guys wanted to know about Freddy, I don't see anything different about his perks. And here's those charms that I was talking to you guys about. Let's see. Let's go into his perks. So the only one that I can see that may have changed, but I don't think it did, is the Remember Me perk. You become obsessed with a survivor 4 seconds up to a maximum of 8 additional seconds. I could have sworn this goes to a maximum of 30 seconds, so I'm not entirely sure if this is what's been changed, but I don't believe this has been changed. I could be wrong. I don't know. So, something to consider. They may have actually reworked Remember Me, so... let's see, what else to talk about. And you guys probably want to see the pig cosmetics really quick. Let's see. Featured. God, I always, honestly, this is very unuser friendly. I always forget how to do this shit. There's the ghost, by the way, if you want to see his cosmetics. They don't have any pictures yet. There's that devil one. And then let's go back to characters. So here's the pig cosmetic. Oh, there's that Jenkins name I told you guys about. And here's what the pig looks like. Doesn't have a name yet, so they're just called Outfit FK007 and FK006. So, yeah, guys. So that's the developer build. Not much to say about it, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, if you have any confusion, please feel free to ask me. I'm always willing to help. And have a good one, guys.